babies. You might not have seen his quote there. I don't know. It went by pretty quick. Mathis is probably going to need stress relief. I mean, it makes sense to have a... by the way, there's no music just because I left it on in the background for too long. But there's a place on our team for a highwayman. We just actually have to let them get there. We have a couple of choices here. One would be to do a medium difficulty boss. And we would do that with our Hellion, our newfound, although his syphilis is going to put a little bit of a damper on that. Yeah, let's just get him treated at the sanitarium. Even though it's going to be a little pricey and it's going to take him out of it and it's going to mean that we're not fighting a boss on this one. We could also do... What I was originally thinking was we could do a medium boss, but we don't really have a healer if our occultist is getting his syphilis treated at the sanitarium. It's just like, just take these antidepressants and that bacterial infection will cure itself right up. We could do a medium level mission with no healer, but probably more safely we should do a short mission, or at least a level 1 mission, and maybe just go for some gold, honestly. Like, we have a couple of bosses that we can take care of next time, and then we'll have the A team ready. You know, we'll have 8s or close to 8 level 5s. In fact, we might even have 9, which would be good. And then we'll have good team composition that we can work with. I really want to get the bounty hunter up there. It might seem like we're stalling, but, I mean, actually, we've made a pretty good habit of fighting bosses quickly. So I think it's going to be like level 1, boss, then start doing the champion level dungeons with a squad that I'm a little bit happier with, I guess. So let's just start. It's a long one. Medium, gather 3 grain sacks. Let's look at the rewards. Plus 15% damage, plus 10% stress damage. Doesn't seem that amazing on an occultist. Plus 1% crit, or... I mean, we're probably going to sell it regardless here. What is this one? This one... Oh, it's medium. Okay, maybe we should go to the Cove then. I mean, we don't spend that much time on the Cove. Steady Bracer is decent, but I guess we already have one. But... yeah, let's do a level 1 Cove mission. Okay, so we're going to take the Antiquarian, who I believe functions best in the 3rd slot, weirdly enough. Now, they can work totally fine in the 4th slot. It just depends who else we want to throw back there. Actually, first things first, I'll eat your brains, then I'll start rocking gold teeth and fangs, because that's what a mother freaking monster do. We don't need another leper, so we can actually just dismiss them. We have way too many at this point. Take another arbalist. Useless. Dismiss this arbalist from the start of this, mostly because I don't want to pay for the stress relief. And we already... oh no, we lost our arbalist that was higher level, but still, I'd rather just have them level up without having to pay 800 for them to deal with stress if they're just gonna potentially die anyway. Do you have the heal? Yes. Suppressing fire, rallying flare. It's not that good. I prefer you had blind fire instead of suppressing fire, but it is what it is. You've got the world's worst heal. Blinding gas is really good. Plague Grenade is really good. Noxious Blast is fine. Yeah, we could probably run this squad. Let's go look at embarking here. Do we have anybody we'd like to get leveled up to level 3? Probably Corvassier. I haven't really used him properly at all. Now, I was talking to Sinvicta, who's another YouTuber who does a lot of Darkest Dungeon stuff, and he said that he thought there would be a cool synergy with the Antiquarian and the Corvisor, or sorry, the Man-at-Arms who was named Corvisor, where you could force the Antiquarian to force the Man-at-Arms to guard, and then the Man-at-Arms could guard somebody else, and then if you just buff his protection, he'll have a ridiculous amount of basically tank ability. But unfortunately it doesn't work. He can only guard 1 unit at each time, so we'll try running him in the first position for damage, and then maybe running a level 0 Hellion. Bleed out. Only works on the unit at front and debuffs yourself. But I hear that this is still pretty great. Although it won't be able to hit units at the back easily, which scares me. Well, we need to have some form of healer on this run. Do we have a healer down here in the bottom levels? We don't. You know what? I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable with how this mission looks. I'm gonna go back to the Warrens. Gather 3 grain sacks. This one is explore 90% of rooms. I don't love our team compositions right now. The Jester is not really a healer. Neither is the Arbalist, really. I think we might have to say no to the Antiquarian on this mission, and then instead take, it's so much work for a level 1 mission to get this sorted out, but take like a couple of healers, even though these heals are horrible. At least it cures Blight and Bleed. And then we could take a Hellion or our Leper with us, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, I think the Hellion might be the best class in the game, but we're about to have 2 of them near the top, so I guess, you know, if we're balancing it around, we're probably better off taking our level 0 Leper. Chop, Hew, Revenge, Solemnity. We're not fighting a boss, so it shouldn't matter that much that it's going to be tough-ish to hit the units at the back. Let's provide for this. Oh, whoa. Hold up. I would be remiss if I didn't take trinkets, and we are going down to the Cove. So it would be for the best, if possible, to get anti-Eldritch stuff on our main damage dealer. So who's our main damage dealer? It's probably the Leper, honestly, but we might have more than one anti-Eldritch thing. So the Eldritch stuff was here. Eldritch Slayer's Ring. So you take that. Quill has enough, like, high damage, Leper-only stuff that we can take advantage of, like this one right here. Plus 3% crit, plus 3 speed. Makes your heals worse, but plus 15% damage if in position 1. I'd rather just give you one of the rare trinkets that gives you extra damage, or extra protection. Yeah, I think that extra protection might be for the best. Although, actually, now that I think about it, hold up, take this off. Extra protection probably would be better on the Man-at-Arms, because he's going to be guarding units. Now, our Plague Doctor will take the sweet-ass Blasphemer one, and also the other one that buffs Blight. We should be able to Blight these units. And then we'll take the best Arbalist one, and we'll take the one that buffs heal skills even further, although this one lowered them to begin with. Maybe we don't take the one that lowers healing? Maybe we take 2 that raise healing, as much as I hate to say it, just because you are kind of our dedicated healer. And then we're going to the Cove. Well, it's a medium mission, so we know that, you know, there's at least a couple of things that we'd like to take here, and that's 1.5 stacks of food and 2 stacks of torches. I have the sneaking suspicion this is a doomed enterprise here. I think that's pretty good. Oh, no, shovels. Okay, good. We only spent like 4K on that, so I don't think that's too bad. The Cove I always stay away from, which means I should really do it more often to try to remember these enemies, because the Cove just kicks the shit out of me.
The smell of rotting fish.
The smell of rotting fish. Worst birthday party ever. Okay, so let's reacquaint ourselves. We have Bellow, which is basically like a debuff. Crush is not going to be able to get a kill. We could guard an ally and buff ourselves. Let's try that. Let's see if maybe that's the secret here. As far as I know, enemy aggro is random. So we'll buff ourselves while also guarding an enemy, and only taking 3 damage is nothing, man. That's nothing at all. Then our Leper can actually just smoke the Christ out of them damage-wise. Probably open with just a sniper shot. I'm not expecting this Arbalist to be all that good, but, you know, whatever they do, I'm happy for. These guys have pretty limited blight resist, so it's either we try for a stun that has a pretty good chance to land, or we go for poison, which is going to be decent. Even Plague Grenade 1 is 4 points per round, wow. Or we go for Noxious Blast, which is also 4 points per round, but does 2 damage here. Hits, that unit is on a clock, they're dead next turn. Okay. Seaward Slash. Spear Fishing, we're going to guard them, and we only took 2 damage. Okay. Maybe I'm trying to experiment more, because I realized that, this one is probably a Plague Grenade situation, I think. I realized that, I probably was never going to beat Darkest Dungeon unless I experimented a little bit. And we're rolling with, like, very novel party compositions here that I think, have been working out pretty nicely since we've started doing this. And it's kind of renewed my my vigor for the game as well. And, you know, this is a pretty easy encounter to start with, but this kind of interesting, fairly defensive strategy with the Man-at-Arms is kind of interesting to me. I don't know how many times I said interesting there. We do have medicinal herbs, might as well. Purify the gut, allowing a safe search of its contents, and that gave us some gold and holy water. which maybe we'll be able to use to purify an altar or something. Good scouting. I don't know if we should be gunning for combat or shying away from it, but we have to explore down this corridor anyway. We might as well go to the treasure room. We don't have medicinal herbs, so let's not touch this. The reason, by the way, in case you're wondering, what? Oh God. Well, at least we surprised him, but it's the collector. Okay. Well, light the shit out of him. Hopefully, this guy can be real annoying. Wow, you are just absolutely useless in this situation. The reason I didn't take the antiquarian is because I felt like I needed 4 classes to really make this work. Let's keep doing what we were doing. Let's guard a vulnerable ally. Buff ourselves with a little extra protection in the meantime as well. Hopefully, we're not going to eat shit against this guy. We didn't really do as much damage as I would have liked to have done early. Collect call. He has sent out some souls here. Show collection. That's got to be stress. Yeah. And getting quite a lot of stress, unfortunately, on that leper here. So I think we plague grenade, basically just to get damage over time on the collector. I think we sniper shot the collector, but I'm cognizant of the fact that we're probably going to start to take some decent damage here as a result of the fact that there's 3 guys back here pissing me off. 3 highwaymen at that. Okay, so he's going to bleed, but we do have bandages. Headache is probably a buff, I guess? Plus 50% damage. That's a little ridiculous. They have 16 HP each. I think we're better off trying to kill one with a chop here. And honestly, maybe Bellow does 1 to 2 damage, debuffs them. This could work. Yeah, it did 2 damage to the one that got buffed, effectively wasting that 1 unit's turn and then debuffing everybody. So that's pretty sweet. Stun resist is 50. Blinding gas is only 100. Blight resist is only 20. So I think we just go for the kill by continuing to stack up poison damage here. Even though the stun, I'll admit, would have been awesome if we could have made it work. Then I think we crush this guy. Waste of a crit a little bit, but at least we took out 1 more unit. Show collection is high stress again. We may need to camp sooner rather than later, or we may need to accept that this leper might not be long for the world. So snipe this guy. 9 damage is really, really good from a snipe. Headache is, again, a buff. We could kill him before he makes use of that buff, potentially. If we just go for the chop. 14, I think he's now in lethal range. Okay, this actually went surprisingly well. Battlefield medicine is horrible. At least at level 0. So I think we just go for the straight up kills here. Wow, another crit as well. That'll do it. And honestly, apart from our leper's stress, we're not in that horrible of a situation. Might as well throw out a heal of some sort. It also buffs them so they get more heals in the future, but only temporarily. Sweet, we got the puzzling trapezohedron there.
As the light gains purchase.
So far, so good, but it only takes, you know, maybe 2 bad encounters down here for things to get real nasty-like in the cove. I'd say that as of right now, this is far from an optimal team composition, but it's doing something. It's not worthless. I've definitely taken accidentally worse compositions than this, so this is like a Mardi Gras parade compared to some of the awful ones I've taken. Like, does anybody remember how smart it was for us to take the Wizened Hag on with the units that can't hit past the 2nd slot? That sentence was difficult to come out. We're going to try Blinding Gas here. Hopefully avoid having to deal with these stress units until we can sneak some damage on them and maybe they'll die in 1 turn or something. This is a weird one, because I want to do damage, but at the same time, I still think Guard has a purpose, and it also buffs us. It's kind of like a 2-for-1 action there, I think. We'll go for the KO. Didn't quite get it, but Suppressing Fire might be able to pick up the kill now. 1 to 2? Unlikely. Just take the sniper shot. And then, of course, we crit for more than his total HP, but at least we got some stress release off the crit. This is going to hurt, but, ooh, we missed, or they missed us. And also, we have the Guard anyway, so, and the extra protection, so we wouldn't have taken that much damage probably. Now, what do we do about these guys? Probably you just go for the sniper shot on this one. That way, if you crit, you do stop them from doing an action. Getting some... If it is RNG that causes enemy aggro, then we're getting some bad RNG right now. That was a little bit of a gamble, but it worked. Some bad RNG because they keep selecting the same unit to stress out. It's a tough one. Do you hit this guy, or do you stun this guy? Or do you just plague that guy? I think you start to poison the guy at the front, and you hope that your man-at-arms is actually capable of getting the crush kill here. Oh, he's off by 1. That's okay. It means that, you know, suppressing fire or something can be worth using here. Octocestus is going to bleed, but it's only an extra 2 damage because we have bandages. This is basically a waste of the enemy's turn, I think. 23 stress is nothing to sneeze at, but at the same time, it doesn't matter much. Because that unit is unlikely to be so stressed that they're going to die anyway. So what do you do about this guy here? I think you just start to smack the crap out of him. 10 damage is pretty good. Puts him very nearly in lethal range, actually. We can't hit units at the front. That's so annoying. I mean, I guess you just heal then, but it's a pretty poor heal, all things considered. And this guy might get to move as a result. No, he doesn't. So we get a 90% chance to hit. He is now within lethal range for the poison. This went okay.
Unforeseen.
Okay.
Unforgiving.
Heirloom chest. We will use our key here. Kind of banking on there not being a secret room. That was actually like a terrible haul. But it's okay. We're less than halfway through the mission, and that stress is starting to get there. You normally, one unit having its resolve tested is not enough to like throw away the mission, especially if it's a unit that honestly we don't really care about long term because we're already fairly rich in, you know, high level lepers. We don't really care about this too much, but it could be the start of, you know, a crack in our armor that the enemies can exploit. Hopefully that's not the case though. Inventory's in a weird place too. Of course we do still have camping, but if possible I prefer to camp as close to the end as we can. That way, you know, if we take care of stress damage, we're much less likely to need to pay to get stress healed in the town because there's no stress to heal.
The light. The
The lights. The promise of safety. There's still booty inside.
A handsome reward.
That's the card I gave my mom on her 50th birthday. That came out kind of gross. I should have said, that's a card you should give your wife on her 50th birthday. But instead I went the mom route, and that was a gamble that did not pay off there. No combat. No scouting, but no combat either.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
What is this? Bas Relief. A puzzlingly ancient sculpture of dizzying implication. Holy water does nothing. I probably knew that. You know what? Let's throw some shit at it. Anti-venom didn't do shit. Okay, who do we not care about? Probably our leper. So let's have him look. It has a lasting impact on the hero. Warren Scrounger. I mean, that's not bad.
In radiance.
I mean, that's the thing. If it's bad, then it's on a character we don't care about. If it's good, it's on a character we don't care about. So, I mean, you know, you take the risk with the reward, of course. But we've got to go down this way. Eerie Coral. Nope, not anti-venom. I could just look this up, but where's the fun in that, right? Forget the Eerie Coral, then. I really thought Holy Water might get it done. Or anti-venom. Doesn't Coral, like, it's sharp and it can poison you? You know what? It's sharp. It's sharp. So we go... Oh, no! Use the bandage! Thank Giesling 2.0. It's abrasive and unnerving. You took 41 stress. I hate you. From my point of view, the Dan Gieslings are evil. Yo, that was really disappointing. I mean, I probably should have used the bandage on it first, but I don't know if the bandage even stops it. But I'm assuming that the bandage stops it, because Coral is really sharp. I don't know. I'm trying to use common sense here. But it stops being common sense for me when I take, you know, 10 times to figure out what it actually does, I guess. Well, at least we still have, supply items, then. Wow, everybody is super hungry. Do we have, like, a stress eater or something? Just trying to see here. Somebody's eating too much. Ruminator. No. Nervous? Guilty conscience? I don't know. It doesn't seem like anybody's, got stress-eating capabilities here, but certainly pissing me off with the amount of food they're eating here. In combat so far, things have gone relatively okay, but in consumption, not so much. So we have a trap, and then it looks like no combat. So we can actually maybe just camp in this next room, assuming that we can actually get rid of this trap easily enough. Okay, we have shovels, so that's not a problem.
Another misfortune.
I feel like we're kind of... Well, I guess disregard. I was going to say I feel like it's not going that well from like a financial situation. Well, 70%. Good luck. Nice. But I guess we did get the puzzling tetrahedron, so it could be worse.
A blazing star
but
is born.
We're kind of not... I mean, this is just a mission that... I don't want to say it's killing time, because I don't mean that the content is just killing time.
Tenuous firelight.
But what I mean is
Easy
that we're basically just waiting for stress to get taken down, so that... Or syphilis, in this case, to get taken down, so that we can actually deal with the next bosses. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of stress relief here either. Increase stress by 5 on every other companion. He's gonna take you to 69, you're at 68. I think that's... I mean, it's a net loss of 10 stress. And it gave 21, which sucks, but it gives the stress in ways that I would prefer it not to. We have 8 left, so I'm pretty sure we just buff the shit out of ourselves. But it's kind of unfortunate. Sure, give yourself better, you know, resists. Give yourself better protection and damage, and then that's pretty much it, I think. Got nothing else to do. We do need to go to the survivalist and change up our camping skills at some point, because, I mean, as of right now, this was a pretty good example of we wanted to camp to lower stress damage, or lower the stress that we'd taken, and unfortunately, we didn't really have that capability. But I could have checked for that before we left. It's honestly just short-sightedness and a little bit of laziness to not look at your camping skills. I'm already like, why would we look at our camping skills? We don't even look at our non-camping skills. Thank God we took 3 shovels. So it's a bad habit, honestly, and I have self-awareness that we should break it. Take me one step closer to the camp, and I'm about to break. 50 gold. I mean, it is a level 1 mission, but 50 gold is like, come on now. That time we got caught on the trap, unfortunately. 4 damage and a small debuff. We probably have 1 more room to go to, maybe 2. And oh, you're not interested in the diseased fish, Dan? Could have fooled me. All right, we have our first combat in a little while. I don't care if their resolve gets tested, just come back alive and with a decent amount of money. We might be able to hew both of these guys. Ooh. At least, you know, we got 1. At least it wasn't neither. That would have been very disappointing. That could be a stun. It is a stun. I mean, I knew it was a stun. I think we go for this. And the reason we go for that is not only to debuff them so they might miss, but also to put us in a position where Bello could actually pick up, well, 1 kill. Oh, they dodged it! We did 1 damage to the corpse, though. Amazing. Still, though, a chop or a hew will finish this one off if we could ever land it. Salty Gouge. 2 damage. And a bleed. We do have a bandage left. There you go. I mean, the debuff is pretty strong there, but it is fair to say I'm not really thrilled with the way that this combat has gone so far. But this may be the last combat we have. It probably isn't. I would expect there to be 1 more, but we might get lucky. Not have to worry about it. Man, normally our inventory is not this stacked coming towards the end of a mission. And by stacked, I mean completely wide open. The opposite of stacked. Okay, we do have 1 more combat. No way of getting around this one. Honestly, I think we go for the stress dealers, even though everybody on our squad is probably just here temporarily. So let's try to kill the madman first. 4 damage is pretty bad there. But, try this guy. 10 damage is pretty bad there. I don't love using AoE attacks. I think we'll go for the double stun on the stress. Oh, that's the one at the back is not a stress dealer. He's like just a ranged unit, but we should be able to kill this guy. Okay, good. We got 1 stress dealer killed, and the guy in the middle is pretty close to death. Rend for the Old Gods is a bleed, and we have no bandages, and we are bleeding, but it's only a level 1 bleed. Barnacle Barrier doesn't really bother me, because we're gonna have to kill that unit anyway. I'd like to kill the weaker one first, of course, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I probably should have had our Man-at-Arms guard, but well, kind of whatever, I guess, is where I'm coming at this one from. We should sniper shot the unit at the back. The problem is it's only going to hit this guy. So the other thing is we could suppressing fire and at least get a small debuff out, which I think is actually better. Even if it only does 3 damage spread out, if it debuffs the living units, I'm happy with it. Now you, probably a noxious blast on your boy up front. This means that he is legally dead. That's an awesome miss. I'm not going to bother guarding anybody. We're just going to go as hard as we can on getting the kill here. 6 damage is not great, but I can live with it. Similarly, just hit him. 5 damage. We don't have to go through this too much more often. 7 damage is real. Noxious Blast this guy. Critted him for 1, which is incredible. But mostly I'm happy that it gets that extra poison damage in there. So he's on a clock now. Maybe we actually bandage our leopard just so that they don't bleed anymore. Sorry? Oh, it doesn't fix bleed. That was the heal from the Plague Doctor. My mistake. So that's 8 damage. He is now dead. Okay, well that's easy enough. If the Pelagic Grouper is the last thing we have to kill, this is basically over. Because this should blight him, and then we're good. You might as well heal yourself, I guess? Why not? I mean, this unit is dead anyway. Everything you do is just a free action. I think we may have made it out of this. Again, not the best squad we've ever had. Might as well continue adventuring just temporarily here. Giant Oyster. What if you put a torch on it? What if you put some anti-venom on it? Nope. Okay. What if you insert your hand into it? Well, you get some treasures. 75 gold. That's not 0. Let's see what our scout reveals here. Combat and a curio. I think I'm actually just going to leave. Our Man-at-Arms already is stressed out enough as is. He's going to hit level 3? Ooh, barely even level 2 still. Unerring, plus 10% damage on range skills. I don't even know if he has any of those. Enlightened is a little annoying, but not horrible. Healer's Gifts could be good if we ever actually camp and need healing as opposed to stress healing.
In time,
oh,
you will know the
Mathis is no longer selfish.
my failings.
Montague now no longer has syphilis. This is exactly what we wanted. Now we can take a level 3 squad of Ruka, the Hellion, our occultist. So you're like number 2, you're number 1. Occultist usually will be in the number 3 slot thanks to Sacrificial Stab. What unit do we have that works well in the number 4 slot that qualifies for this mission? We could take a Jester. I mean, we could mix it up and get rid of Blackjack and then run our Houndmaster back there. That could be interesting. But for now, I think that's going to do it. Well, what about the Jester? Does the Jester... I haven't used Josh in forever. He doesn't work from the back position unless we switch this stuff up. But, alright, we'll talk about that in the next episode. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. That was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.